Hey, Christy here again. Welcome to Module 2. And today we're going to be talking about your signature brand. So, as I mentioned, we're going to have our rock of the session. And today's rock is going to be joy. Oh gosh, I need to get a space where you can actually see it better. There we go. Joy. So joy. And the reason why I picked this rock is because we're going to be talking about creating your profitable business model that is going to bring you tons of joy. I know when money flows in and we're helping people, that's going to create more sorry, I had to get my screen up. That is going to create more support. We're helping people, money's coming in, we're helping people. We're not going to get paid if we don't keep helping people, but the more we help people, the more money we're going to get paid. It's kind of this awesome circle. And so joy is what we feel when we're making money and helping people. And so I am going to leave it at that and just switch over to our slides. So this is module 2, and today we're going to specifically start talking about your signature brand. Because as we mentioned at the end of the last module, if we don't create our book in a way that's going to start bringing in a cash flow, we're not going to probably finish because we don't have that fuel to fire that fire to keep fueling us along on this journey. So how are we going to put our book together and how is our book going to be a part of the big picture? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we can get into writing our book, we have to make sure that our book makes sense in the overall picture of what we're doing in our business. So I am going to go over some kind of basics in building a profitable signature brand. And the bottom line is the money is in the mastery. The more you can niche it down, the more money you're going to make with less effort. And I know this is a struggle for some people. It's a struggle for me sometimes. We have lots of different ways that we can help people, and we don't want to exclude anybody. But niching it down doesn't mean you're excluding anybody. It just means that you're being more precise in who you can help and that you can help them in a much greater capacity. And so one example that I want to share with you about that is we have on the one side with the doctor with the white lab coat. She is just the general physician, and she is the person that can help you with all of your ailments. And I will equate this to our general physician. She not only helps me with, my coughs and aches and pains, she helped me with my shingles 6 years ago. She helps my daughter with her aches and pains, my grandkids, my mom, like everybody goes to our general physician, and she knows us and she refers us out, and she can treat everything that's minor. She has a lot of wisdom, and you think she'd get paid a ton because she knows a lot about a lot of things. But if something happens where somebody needs brain surgery, are we going to have her operate on our brain? No. We're going to go to that brain surgeon. And I actually pulled this image off of the internet because I wanted to find a picture of a female brain surgeon. But, the brain surgeon is very specialized in her area. People will come to her. She helps people in life-threatening situations, so her capacity to create an impact is even greater. More risk, but more reward for her clients, her patients, as well as for her, because she makes a ton more money than the general physician because she's more specialized. And so that doesn't mean that she doesn't have the wisdom to help somebody with a cough and give them a prescription for like maybe antibiotic if somebody needs it. Not that she typically does that, but she has that ability And I'm really just sharing an extreme here, but if you can get to the point in your business where you become the go-to expert, where people refer clients to you, you stop chasing them and you become known as the go-to person, your life is going to completely change. So you may not be ready yet to do that, but think about that as your end game, is to continue to build to a place where you've refined your business so much that you are just become this magnet, not for everybody, but for your ideal client. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that that is the path that you are on, the journey that you're trying to create for your business, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year from now, maybe 6 years from now. But that is the end game for anybody that's looking to retire out of their business and build enough wealth in their business that will afford them the luxury of just kind of making better decisions. So what does that look like? These are the fundamentals that you need to think about before you get started on all this. So in the journey of building your business and the marketing strategy behind it, you really want to think about the different ways that people are going to want to work with you. First of all, your wisdom. So your wisdom is step one. This is where you get out and start sharing your wealth of information. This is what you're going to be using your book for, is a great way for you to just share wisdom. Knowledge is wonderful, but knowledge is cheap and sometimes free. So knowledge is not what's going to make the biggest impact in the life of your client or your reader, but it's going to be the beginning step of that journey for them to start learning what you have to share with them and start building that trust and rapport. And then the step two would be where they're going to be focusing more on working with you more to get more knowledge, but then that's going to include additional support. It's a way for them to get more of you, but pay a little bit more. And then step three is more focused on not only knowledge and support, but accountability. It's where you're going to be really working with them on an individual basis, not in a group setting, but one-on-one, where the focus is completely customized to the results that they actually desire and that they deserve. So these are the different steps of how you're going to start building your business. Just first by sharing your wisdom, second by creating this group support program, and then finally one-on-one. That's the end game. It doesn't necessarily start that way. Actually, when I work with clients that are starting a new business about creating their expert signature brand, I encourage them to start with one-on-one coaching, because that really helps them get clear on not only who they're serving, but how they can serve them. And it helps them build a bigger, robust group program. It also gives them kind of a client pool of potential customers. So that way they start their group program with more than 3 people. But there's a specific strategy for that. And it really depends on your business, where you're at, how many people are on your following, how big your tribe is. So there's a lot of different variables in that. So the step 1, 2, and 3 here isn't always linear with a new business, but these are the end game result of how you're going to structure your business. And then as far as pricing and your customers, so you need to know, as you're going out and creating your different packages, that there are different people that are willing to invest different amounts of money. So you first have the customer that is interested. These are people that are only willing to pay for knowledge, nothing more. This is where they basically try you and they test you, and they're working with a ton of people. They're spending just a little bit of money, but they never have that commitment, or they don't have that commitment at this point to go any deeper. So this is where you have the people that will spend under $100, and this is where you're going to create a product in your value ladder that's going to be a low price product. This would be a DIY program, a mini course, maybe a challenge, or And before that, you'll have your freemium, which are your free things to get people on your list. And once they're interested and they graduate out of that interested stage, they become qualified. This is where, again, they're going to pay for more than knowledge, but they're also going to pay for your support. And you price this in a way that is going to be a bigger investment for them, because they need to have that bigger investment so they will hold themselves accountable. And you have to realize when you're doing your pricing, sometimes we need to get out of our own way, and we need to not think about, well, heck, I shouldn't charge $1,000 for a group program and have 10 people in it, whatever. Sometimes we beat ourselves up and think that we charge too much, but it's not about our value. It's about what we're going to do in the lives of our clients. If we can walk our clients through a 6-month group program, at the end of that group program, you're going to equip them with everything they need to make $6,000, then heck, it's worth it for them to invest $1,000. So you really need to think about that. And you need to create a pricing structure for that level of program that is going to be in alignment with their commitment. And so that would be your group course, group coaching, group training, masterminds. Now, of course, masterminds can be even more than that, depending on how they're all put together. But that is where you're going to put together something in your value ladder that's in that price range, anywhere between $100 to $1,000. And then the next tier of pricing is where you're going to have your clients that are completely committed to you, and completely committed to themselves, and completely committed to the process. So they're not only pay for knowledge and support, but they're also going to pay for accountability. This is where you're going to have those one-on-one relationships. This is where they're going to get the most results, but they're going to invest the more greater amount. So investments for this type of a program is anywhere from $1,000 and up. I've seen programs, year-long programs, that have been $100,000, which is completely crazy. But the results that those people got, I'm sure, justified them investing that much. And they're probably at that, well, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. So these are the different pricing levels. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can create more than 3, but this is trying to make it super simple. So you can kind of start thinking ahead about how you're going to create your business model with a value ladder of different components in these different pricing points. So now we're going to talk about list building, because list building is so important. And the more people you have on your list, the more money you're going to make. So as you get out and start building your business, you're going to do some speaking and networking and strategy calls and all these different things to start building your list. And you want to have the most people on your list as possible. And you need to create your funnel, and you need to create your website and your opt-in in a way that will encourage people to actually sign up and get on your list. And so I've heard this many, many times, and it's so true. If you look at how many people on your list, they basically say that if you have 1,000 people on your list, you could easily make $1,000 every month by doing certain things with that list. If you have 5,000, you can make $5,000 a month every month based on how many people are on your list. So as you jump out of that relationship building level, now you're getting into the serious list building. And that's when you have anywhere between 5,000 and 25,000 people on your list. This is where you are going to be invited to be a guest on podcasts and summits, because you've got a following. And this is where you're going to put together your courses and programs and really make a ton of traction and make a ton of money. And as you keep building your list, as your funnel keeps expanding and you keep doing things to grow, you are going to be up into the authority level, and you're going to have 25,000 people or more on your list. And that's where you're going to be able to offer the higher end experiences as your business continues to grow. So let's talk about how you can immediately start benefiting from your book. What are some of the ways that your book is actually going to start creating an ROI immediately? So first of all, of course, book sales. Absolutely. You're going to be able to sell your books online and offline, but book sales is not really what you want to focus all of your time on. Now, honestly, a lot of people will actually take their book and give it away free, have people pay the shipping and handling just to get them on their list. Because if you get somebody on your list for a $7 investment, doesn't cost you anything, because that if somebody pays for shipping and handling, they're paying pretty much for the cost of the book plus the shipping. Usually they pay $7.95. That usually covers most of your expenses, maybe not all of them, because you got to buy the, the envelope and all of the different things and your time to package them all up. But if you can nurture that person on your list and email them and share wisdom with them and share stuff with them, even if it's every month, that's a great way to nurture these prospects. So that way, when you launch a coaching program or a group coaching program, you're going to have a bunch of people that will probably be more likely to work with you than somebody just cold off the streets or somebody you meet in a Facebook group. So that's a really great way to start building that list and building your authority, and that free interaction of them getting that free book is going to make you more money in the end if they become a client of yours. So having a book is going to help you improve customer satisfaction. Your current customers are going to just love the fact that you've got this book to share with them or to gift them with a lot of your wisdom and stories. Your existing brand is going to be up-leveled, so you're going to be able to not only be seen at a different capacity, but you're going to be able to increase your pricing and add more offerings. Your book is going to allow you to list build, create a sales funnel, have value if you're on other people's summits or giveaways. There's a lot of great things that your book is going to be able to help you with. You're going to be able to host your own event. And you can do anything from a book signing to a book launch party to your own lunch and learns or your own workshops, all based on the core teaching that is going to be contained inside your book. Of course, they can read your book, but they're not going to get the step-by-step process that they would get by going with you hand in hand in a kind of a workshop type setting. And you're going to be able to speak on other people's stages. That's key. You can get on other people's stages and make a boatload of money. And just recently, I actually had a client that I worked with years ago. She was actually in one of my books, and she ended up by being a sponsor on the stage of one of my events that I hosted. So it was a women's conference. I think it was 2016. And she was a sponsor. She spoke on stage, I believe, for 30 minutes. And at the end of that 30 minutes, she was allowed to make an offer, but it wasn't a paid offer. She wasn't able to sell anything. It was a free offer. And so she did a great presentation. It was actually her first time on stage, so she was super nervous. She wasn't as polished, I'm sure, as she is now. She stumbled a little bit, but she still delivered great value. She connected with the audience, and they loved her. And at the end of that presentation, she made an offer for a free strategy call. And I don't know how many people signed up for her. I know a lot of people throughout the next few years I found ended up by working with her. I'd hear great stories and lots of success stories from my clients or from the women in our community. And I know that day she had a lot of people talking to her, but she just shared a few days ago, because she's actually putting on a webinar on how to make money from speaking from a stage. And so she shared in our group that she made $200,000 over the last 3 years from that event, from working with the client she met that day, and referrals, I'm sure, from referrals from them as well. So from one event, her business was catapulted into this. She's got a mega business now. And so of course, that 200,000 was over a 3-year period, but that's not bad from one event. So having a book is going to open up the door for you to really be able to do the same thing. And then I'm going to share my $1,000 in a day income strategy here in a few minutes, so you can see how your book and the process of writing your book is going to allow you to start bringing in money before it's even done. So what I want to do is give you a little bit of time, and I have no idea what this timer is for. I had a couple timers just pop up on my slides, and I don't know why. But let's go on to your profitable business model, because you may have thought of a few ideas as I was talking that were relative to you. Maybe you kind of thought about your specific value ladder and ideas of different programs you want to put together. But let's get talking about some nuts and bolts here. What is that going to actually look like? So let's start with the exercise of defining your target market. So we're going to go deeper into your avatar a little bit later, but let's just get really vague about who that person is. 2 to 3 words, that's it. So who is your book for? What do they struggle with? What is the one solution you provide them? And what is the dream outcome? And so if I were to fill this out, I would be very simply say that this book is for speakers and coaches, or people who want to become speakers and coaches. What do they struggle with? They struggle with having a business that they love but doesn't make them much money. What is my one solution? My solution is a book that is going to help them write their signature book and have that be a part of their profitable signature brand, so that they can have the dream outcome of being able to make decisions from an abundance mindset, because they're not pinching pennies and they've got a great cash flow. And so they're able to live a more free life based on that money flow. So that's kind of what we're looking to have you do. So now is when we need that timer, so you can spend a little time to fill this out. Go ahead and pause the video and come back when you have a good sense of what it is that you want to share. Okay, well, welcome back. So hopefully you got some clarity about who your target market is for your book. So then let's dive into now more specifics on how you can build your profitable business model. And this is just a little kind of chart that I like to show people, because what we want to do is make sure what you're putting together is something that people will actually pay for. And you can see with this chart here the different ways that you can kind of do the test to make sure that you have a good idea and that people will actually pay for it, and what that will turn into. So as I mentioned before, if we go to the top of this chart, one sale at $100,000, that is awesome, but that's going to take a while to get to if we can ever get to it. And I actually started my journey, let's see, 2013, probably 6 years ago now, almost 7 years ago, going to an event. And it was my first event like this, and it was where the speaker, she was actually a sales trainer, and she taught people how to sell from stage and how to sell without being salesy. That was kind of her gimmick, or her motto, how to sell without being salesy. I think she was called the Queen of Sales Conversion. She branded herself that. But either way, she actually went through this 2-3 day program, lots of great speakers, a lot of great content. I ended up by buying a different program from a different coach, but because I wasn't in the point in my business at that point where I needed to learn how to be a better salesperson, because I was kind of figuring things out yet. I didn't even know what the heck I was going to sell. But what kind of floored me is at the end of her program, the end of this journey that we had together for the couple days, her offer to the audience was a diamond program that cost $100,000 to be in for a year. And as she shared the pricing, I had to like close my mouth because it had dropped to the floor. And I was like in shock. And I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody is going to spend this much money. This is crazy. What is this lady, like, goofy? But people jumped up because I think it was like she could only have 10 people or whatever it was. There was a limiter. And she had people jumping up to be a part of this program. And I was like completely in shock. Now, of course, the women that would spend $100,000 are probably already making $500,000. So they're at a level of their business that they could do that, and it made sense because they needed to get to like a $1 million business or whatever it is, whatever they were at, it made sense to them. But whether you have 100,000 sales at $1 or the other way, I mean, it's very easy for you to make $100,000 in a year just by having the right elements in place. And this is what we're going to talk about. This is what we're going to actually dive into right now to give you a few examples so you can see it's doable and it's not that hard. So let's take one example. And again, if your niche market is overweight men, your one solution is weight loss, and your one system is designed to have these components where you get out and you speak, you either sell a book or you get a free consultation that leads people into a $47 weight loss roadmap that's really got a lot of great information in it, that leads people into investing more in your $450 21-day weight loss group challenge. Got lots of extra features in it, like online training and Facebook support and accountability, that leads people into a group program that's more accelerated with a little bit of one-on-one training that will lead people into private coaching. So these are the different ways that you can create different offerings in your value ladder. And keep in mind, people may not go from the speak to the free consultation. They may go from the speak directly to the group challenge. Depending on what you offer and your audience and what you're doing, you can have different paths for people to connect with you. But you want to have different components because if you have a completely cold audience, you need to build that rapport. And so they may want to invest only $47 first before they jump into private coaching. So there's a lot of different paths. But if you have these pieces and you do it in a way that's very strategic, it's very easy for you to make $100,000 in a year. So this is the test. Basically, no matter what you have, are there X amount of people that will pay to learn how to lose weight in these various different offerings that you provide? So let's break that down even further. So say you're out there, you're building your tribe, you're building your audience, you're speaking, you're selling books, you're getting people into free consultations, whatever you're doing to get them into your world. If you offer your $47 weight loss roadmap, whatever you're doing, say you get out there and you speak, 10 times, and you get 60 people into that roadmap. So speak 10 times, all you need to get is 6 people each time. You got 60 people into this roadmap. Yeah, you made $3,000. It's not a ton of money, but now you've got 60 people that are fans, they're clients, you're building rapport, you're helping them, you're building trust, that relationship is developing, and then you can graduate some of those people into your 21-day group challenge. So if you convert 40 of those people into that, because you did a really great job, these people love you. Now, you may have spoken more than 10 times, and you may have more than 60 people. But if you get 40 people into your challenge, look at how much that is going to bring you. $18,000. Now, if you continue to graduate more people into your accelerated program, they want more support, they want more accountability, they want to get better results. And $1,500 isn't a lot of money if they're going to lose 20 pounds and you're going to help them make sure that that happens. So if you get just 20 people to do that, that's 30 grand. That's great. And this is just by kind of harvesting relationships and graduating people to that next level so they get better results. And now these people are going to become loyal customers, and they're going to refer people to you too, which is a great benefit that's not even in this equation. And then you're going to have people that are going to want to work with you one-on-one coaching. They may be in your, they may pay for your roadmap and think, this is great, but I don't want to waste my time on a $450 program. They want private help because they're busy. They want to get quick results fast. If you have only 10 people that do private coaching with you the whole year, and you charge $5,000 for that program, that's $100,000 at the end of the year. This is not a lot. This is very easy. So this shouldn't be something that's out of reach for anybody if you know what you're teaching and you know and you're confident that you can get people results. So let me give you another example. My niche market, aspiring authors. One solution is to help them write and publish their book. One system. I speak, I do online networking, I've got a free ebook. It's going to take them into a video series that I'm putting together right now on how to brand their story. We'll take them into an 8-week course on writing their book that will take them into the 6-month mastermind at $29.95, private coaching, and all of that jazz. So let's start with the test. Are there X amount of people that will pay X amount of dollars to learn how to easily write a book? And there's different options, different levels, and so let's break it down. Again, speak, network, online, free ebook, different ways to get people into my funnel, starting with that $97 video series. If I get 60 people, that's $4 grand. At the 8-week course at $497. So the course that I'm doing right now, I may offer it as just a complete digital course with no support for $497. I get 40 people in that the whole year, which is so doable. The whole year, that's $19,000. Then I got my 6-month mastermind. This is for people that want more support and done for you publishing services. That is $24.95. I think I had $29.95 on the last slide. So that's 50 grand right there. And then we got private coaching. This is for people that want to graduate into taking their book and having very strategic plan for building their signature brand. 10 at $7,500 a year. Look what this totals to. Now, the cool part about this, and what is always a ray of hope for people that are starting out. This seems like a lot of work, but if you start out with just private coaching, you can make a ton of money before you get all of these other pieces built out. As I mentioned, sometimes as a new coach or a new expert, coaching is the best way to get started. Now, of course, you're not going to charge $7,500 for a year-long coaching or 6-month coaching program is what I charge, but you'll charge maybe $3,000 for a 6-month coaching program, which people will invest if you're able to make a transformation for them. But there's so many options. You just want to make sure you have this business model in place before you write your book, so it all has the same content delivered in different ways to give the clients different levels of access to you. And it's all about your value ladder. The more value you give, the more the price goes up. And so I mentioned that I have this great system or this great formula for you to make $1,000 in a day. And it's all about a part of the big plan. It's not a distraction. It's going to help you. It's going to be another piece to the puzzle. So how do you get paid for your book before it's ever even written? How do you take the first step to create your own 6-figure business? Basically, it's designing your book backwards. What does that mean? That means you're going to create a mini course before your book's even done. So what does that look like? So you're going to start with a 4-hour mini course. You're going to charge $97. Your goal is to have 10 beta students. So you're going to say your course is going to actually be $197, but you're going to only charge $97 for the first 10 beta students, on the condition that they give you a testimonial, honest testimonial, not good, but just an honest testimonial and feedback so you can make the course better. While you're doing that, you're refining everything that needs to go in your book. You're gaining stories, you're gaining wisdom, you're gaining an audience, you're gaining loyal customers. All you need to do in your course is basically come up with 6 training modules. You're going to have your objectives, which is your introduction. That's basically just your little story on why you wanted to have this course. What is your goal? What's the outcome for your people? You're going to go into the 6 training modules. You're going to put that together. You're going to deliver it in a Zoom program just like this. And then you're going to have a conclusion where you offer them the opportunity to have a free strategy call. And it's kind of like a free, a recap call. What do they call it? Oh gosh, I'm not thinking of the word. So it's not really a strategy call, but I don't know. After it's done, you're basically just going to have some interview questions for them to get their feedback and to get the honest input. And so that's part of the program, is for them to have that call with you. Then at that point, you may want to work with them in private coaching, but if not, you've just earned $1,000 to have the minimum of 10 students, and that is going to help you refine your book and create that initial income flow for you to publish your book or get a good editor, or it's going to create that income stream for you. And then you can keep doing that. You can constantly keep doing that and have more than 10 students, and it's going to help you kind of start building your brand and building your authority. So at the end of that, there's your $1,000. Well, you're $3 short. Or if you want to charge less and have 20 students and you make $940, have 20 students and charge $97, that's $2,000. Whatever you want to do, doing this little mini course is a really, really great way to get started. And there are different ways that you can actually get these people in it. And we're going to go about that in the next session. And we're going to talk to you about how that looks and how you can get these people to be your beta students as you're putting your book together. So I think that's all we have. Again, this is the value ladder. And now you've got your first $97 product, because as you do this mini course, it can be recorded and it becomes a digital asset for you. And so my homework for you is for you to map out your business model and your value ladder, brainstorm on what that looks like. And again, for my students that have the whole shebang, this is the time where you're going to want to schedule your strategy call with me so we can actually go into your plan in detail to make sure everything is all coming together as it should as we go to the next step of this process. So you would just go to chatwithchristy.com, book a call with me, and we will get the show going for you. So that's all I have for Module 2. Hopefully you found this to be helpful. I look forward to seeing your progress, and jump in the Facebook group, support everybody else. If you haven't done your intro video, make sure you do that, because we all want to know a little bit about you. We want to see your pretty and handsome faces and get to know you, because this whole journey should be another relationship building venture. And as you're building your course, your mini course, and you're writing your book, some of the students in this could possibly become clients for you, because we all have different focuses. So look at this as a part of your tribe and a way for you to learn from each other, connect with each other, possibly work with each other, work for each other, but don't miss out on the opportunity to get some of the benefits that you can from the community of people that are all doing the same thing you're doing. So that's all I have for now. I will see you on module 3. And in that module, we'll be diving into your messaging. And I've got some great exercises for you to really get your audience built and to get really clear on your wording. So I will see you then. Bye-bye for now.